Good evening. This is David, the Georgia photographer, streaming to the right channel. There's a story behind that. Let me pull this out a little bit further. Okay. What I was saying earlier, before I realized I was not streaming to my channel, was that tonight we're just going to have a general photography chat, probably around the Z6 III a little bit, and among other things photography related, and we'll run down some rabbit holes, and then who knows, we might even wander into ham radios. You never know with me. It's just a potpourri. So with that, let's buckle up. Let's have some fun. So I see in the chat that Bass Angler's in the house. Nice to see you tonight. I'm glad to have you down here moderating for me. I got a new radio. Well, new to me. I'll just go ahead and jump over on the ham radio since it's just me and you for now. Oh no, Claire's here. Hello, Claire. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in. But I got a Ten-Tech Scout. Now, Scout's basically a mobile radio. I get it down, but the power cord is probably going to get tangled up on stuff. But it's not a big radio. And here's the interesting thing about it. Let me just pull this one out since it's sitting right here. It's a single band radio, and you plug in what band you want. I have about 8 or 9 of these band cartridges. I'm only missing 80 meters, I think. It's the only one I don't have. But yeah, you plug in whatever band you want to use, and like all of the resonant stuff for that band is in the little cartridge. And the rest of the radio is just like the amplifiers and the demodulators and all the regular old stuff that you use on every band. But yeah, you just change out the specific frequency stuff for that band and by pulling the module and swapping it to another. And I got a whole stack of these things over there. It's a neat little radio. It's unique. I don't know of any other radio that was mass produced that has this feature. But yeah, it's cool. They are notorious for having issues with the little connectors right here getting corroded a little bit, and then the radio starts flaking out, so you just kind of have to keep an eye on that and clean them occasionally. But yeah, I've used it today and it works great. I made a contact down in Florida with it just to confirm that it was like transmitting, even though the watt meter was showing it. You just want to like make sure it works. Woody Mallory is here. Look at that. Good evening. Oh, look, Bass Angler. What? No, 80 meters. You want to hear all the words of wisdom. There's some inside ham radio joking there. There is some people on 80 meters that I guess they think they founded it or something, and like they have a little bit of an entitlement issue. Let's see. I want that. No. Oh, I know why. We'll leave it like that for now. Okay. I'm messing with OBS and kind of doing preparatory stuff. Something I do want to bring up. Let me go ahead and just figure out how I'm going to show this. Oh, somebody give me clarity. Is the audio synchronized? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that audio sync feedback because I'm making sure that I've got my settings in OBS right. And it seems like I'm having to I'm still walking that in since the microphone isn't mechanically plugged into the camera. Then you have to externally sync the audio with the video. At some point, I think I'm going to get another one of these mics that does jack into the camera. That way, it's one single feed and it's automatically synchronized. But it's close. Okay, thank you. I'm going to leave it be then. If it's close enough, it ain't bothering y'all, I'm not going to mess with it. Really close. Good. Aaron walked me in a little bit last week and got me a lot closer than I was. I was pretty good bit off last week. Let's see here. I need to pull me out a panel. I really like Brave web browser. You can just grab a tab on the Brave browser and just snatch it off the browser and drag it into a different different monitor, and it'll explode into a brand new browser. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna load up my web page, davidsailors.com. We'll get that going. Okay, let's see. Which one is it? This one? I'm just going to do a full screen here. Let's launch over to this. All right, here's my website. If y'all haven't seen it yet, shame on you. You should have seen it by now. Of course, I have some pretty glorious photos of little critters and stuff, like the deer fly. And a deer. I should put the deer fly down with the deer. That would make more sense. Anyway, I'm wandering down a rabbit hole. Let me get back up here. What I came here to show you was this page. I have started making downloadable wallpapers, and what I'm going to do with these is all you got to do. They're full res images is what they are. You just right click, save image as, and just drop it into your downloads folder, and like there's no strings attached, but they're big enough files. They're 3,000 pixels wide, if I remember right. I'm pretty sure I uploaded them as 3K wide. That way they would do 2.7K resolution in 1080 HD monitors, because they'll downscale them automatically to fit. But at that point, I realized that I didn't do any for 4K, so you can see the 4K coming soon, because I got to re-export these as 4K files, and then I'll re-upload them as such. But I'm going to leave the lower res ones anyway, because the file size is smaller. I don't know if that matters or not. If it don't, then whatever. But I'm using these in a rotation on my desktop anyway. Honestly, this one's pretty epic and works really good for a wallpaper because of all the dark space at the top of the frame. Your icons show up real good in it. And this one works real good, which this one's just a really pretty picture. But I like the watches. I took these photos at the National Association of Watch and Clock Collectors. They had their annual meeting in Chattanooga last weekend, and I was able to get into the show. They let the public in for a few hours on the Saturday of the show. It's a closed event normally, and these guys just like to buy, sell, and trade amongst themselves apparently. But they opened it to the public, and their items are for sale to the public on Saturday for a few hours. So I bought my ticket and went in, and I did a little bit of a vlog. I really didn't do much video in there, but I did take a lot of photos, as you can see. Like, if I save this image, save. Okay, let's just open it. All right. As you can see, it's a pretty big image. It's got good detail and resolution. It doesn't fall apart when you zoom in. But this stuff was everywhere in that show. These are just steel birds, is what they jokingly call machines, where you set them aside and rob parts to keep other good machines going. These were all defunct for one reason or another, and of course they've all slowly but surely been cannibalized to keep other watches alive. But I thought that made a cool backdrop, and this one did, it has an aesthetic. If you're into watches, that's a cool wallpaper. So I decided to create a page on my website and just put these downloadable wallpapers, and they're 16:9 aspect ratio, so they'll fit modern monitors. I'm gonna jump back over to me, but I wanted to do something just to kind of give a little something back to the community. You guys have been so great to me. I thought I'll do something for you guys. And that was one of the things I could come up with really easily. Let me get let's see. Yeah, here it is, chat window. All right, got the chat back up. Let's see. That's really sounds good to me. Cool on the wallpaper. You're welcome. I'm gonna get some ham radio themed ones too. Like I'm gonna clean up the shack ain't really in bad disarray, but I'm gonna straighten up the table, and then I'm gonna get the QSL card stuff, because I just keep all of my QSL cards and the envelopes and the postage stamps. Like I've got I keep stamps to go to Canada. It takes a little extra postage to go across the border. So I keep this particular stamps that you need for that over here. And I've got some little photos, like if I do if I get a beacon report, someone writes in where they heard my propagation beacon, then what I've done is I've made photos, and it's a QSL contact card. I write the information on the back of this photo, but it shows the actual transmitter I'm using for my beacon, and the power supply, and the keyer, and the call sign of the beacon. It's just something a little bit, it's a little special. If they go to the trouble to send me a card, I want to do a little something for them. And then I've got some other photos just for fun. but I want to get a photo of that because it's about the right aspect ratio, and make that a wallpaper. And maybe even do some QRP stuff. But yeah, I'm going to start expanding this wallpaper page a little bit and just share that with the world. Nice shot, Dave, of the watches. Thank you. Yeah, today sees me wearing it's a custom. It's made by a little guy in Hong Kong. His company is called Dagaz, D-A-G-A-Z. And he takes Seiko NH35 movements, and I'm not sure if this is a Seiko case or if he has his own cases made, but he kind of designs his own parts and puts that Seiko movement in there. And I really like this one. So it's my only blue dial. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. I get it out. I've only got like 3 out of all of the 6 or 8 watches that I own. I wear like 3 of them. It's kind of weird. You got all these watches and you only get out 2 or 3. Claire says, Minolta used to market creative expansion cards to provide additional functions to their autofocus film camera range. Interesting. I'd like to see that. I'll have to Google search that. Hey, I happen to have a window that will allow said Google search to occur. Minolta creative expansion cards. Let's just see what Google has to say about that. Well, look at this. That just came up like really fast. Fantasy Card 2 lets you create soft focus or dreamlike effects in your pictures without changing lenses or adding filters by automatically changing the focus during exposure or between multi-exposures of a single frame. The card's 2 modes. Creative Expansion Cards is designed to interface with the Dynax NXI 9XI. Just like a sophisticated software program works in a computer, simply slip the card into the card holder door slot to create a wide range of effects with surprising ease. This makes your Dynax 9XI more functional, more versatile, which results in photographs that best suit your subjects and the way you wish to photograph them. In addition, the Quick button provides an even greater measure of controllability and responsiveness when combined with the action of some cards. Oh, and there's a bunch of them. Multi-spot memory, highlight shadow control, portrait card, close-up card, child card, travel card. There's a long list of these. Panning card. All right, we're going to bail out of that. Images. Huh. They look like little, here, let me just switch it over here. Let me do this. They look like little SD cards, and you plug them into the camera. So there's one. Yeah. Huh. They do. They look a lot like an SD card. Look at that. The way the contacts are on the back. That don't touch the pins, it'll corrode them. All right. That's bizarre. Never knew this existed. Well, there it is in the camera where they plugged it in. Okay. Well, now we've got that. 9XI camera. Let's see if we can get that to show up. Oh, that's a fancy camera. That's not it. That's a 700XI, but that's a Dynax. I bet it has the functionality in it. That's the 9. That's pretty interesting. Okay. Now, let's see what we got going here so I don't miss something. Race O'Donnell jumped in. There's a program that can pull you from a Flickr album and auto change out backgrounds. I can't remember the name, but it works well. Oh, nice. Don't forget the radio blog. Yeah, I got to go back and fix that. There's a live stream from this channel on that channel that I got to go delete when we're done with this. Where I cranked this up and was like, why ain't it starting up? Oh, wrong stream key. Okay, let's see. You still have your roll? I have 2 of them. Yeah, I'll put it back on tomorrow morning. I only wear this in a few days at a time. Then I put it back and save and get that one back out. Randall Brander is in the house. Randall sent me something. If y'all haven't seen his channel yet, you need to go over and look at his channel. Let me see if I can figure out how to do this. Oh, let me bail off of that. All right. That's an interesting thing, Claire. I had no idea they had that functionality. Let me just see if I can do it like this. No, that didn't work. Let's go to all, not pictures of. Oh, I see what happened. Let's try that. Yep. All right. I'm going to copy this and drop it in the chat right here. Okay, I just dropped a link to Randall's channel in the chat. If you're into computers or photography, it'd do well if you went over and gave his channel a look. He's really into Windows and benchmark testing his computers to basically dial the performance in, basically to squeeze every bit of juice he can out of his computer. And it's interesting to watch him do that. Something else he done. We can go ahead and segue into this. He sent me a box that I have yet to open. I got it the other day. I've been so busy in the machine shop, and there's another story I'll involve y'all with here in a minute. But it's been sitting down there next to my desk for a few days now. Now, let's see here. Hassan is dead last. I saw that. Okay. He has packed it up really good. There's some more bubble wrap in the box. Alright. And this plastic bag is pretty durable. I want my car made out of this stuff. Okay. We have a Folsey. I think it's a play on the spelling of photography and something else. Lens mount adapter. And this is a knock-on to Leica L mount. Alright. Now, okay. It's kitted up, you know. We're doing a pseudo unboxing on the stream here. Man, this thing's made nice. I love the knock-on latch assembly. It's got an aperture ring on it. What this is for? Oh, listen to that. That's nice. What this does, it gives you your G series lenses, the gilded lenses that don't have an aperture ring. This gives you an aperture ring so that when you mount it on a Leica L mount camera, you now have your aperture ring back. I only have a couple of G series lenses left. Pretty sure I got rid of all of them. I have the 18 to 55 in the other room. It's actually decoration in the living room. Comes with a nice little pouch too. Look at that. Pouch sewn out of what appears to be lens cloth. I normally don't ever use these, but it's nice to see when they send you a quality one. This is a really nice one. There'll be a video review of this coming, since I do own a lens that doesn't have an aperture. And it'll work on lenses that do have an aperture. You just now have 2 aperture rings. The front one will control the aperture on the lens, and then this one kind of acts as a minimum aperture stop point, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can actually set the largest size that it will open to. I've had these in a long time ago, some kind of really cheap ones. This one's made much better than the ones I was getting. And they would work on Sony cameras. I had them 6-7 years ago. I had 1 or 2, and I had bought them by accident back then. I didn't buy them on purpose. It just happens to be the ones I picked from Amazon at that point. But yeah, this one's made so nice. I really love the knurling on it. Man, this thing is made well. But yeah, Randall sent this to me. I'm going to review it and put it on the channel. I think he's already done his video review. Let's see. Let's see. Let me look on the channel. Yeah, there's his channel. I went ahead and pulled it up. Let's see. Oh, there's a pertinent video right in front. Nikon Z6. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Nikon Z6 III. Do you really need it? That's a pretty good one, because a lot of people, honestly, their photography is way better than their equipment already. He uploads a lot of videos. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So, but yeah, there's our creator spotlight and the channel shout out in the chat. I've done all sorts of stuff already now. Wow, I'm really covering some ground tonight. One of the other things I was going to talk about. I'm going to jump tracks now. I'm going to put this plastic in the trash can. Oh, rabbit hole time. Thank you, Randall. This is really nice. I learned something. If you need a little tiny trash can for your photography office, the Cascade Platinum Series washing machine pods for your dishwasher has this perfect shaped and sized container to make a tiny little trash can with. And if you stick it under your desk, no one ever knows it's there. You could be all crafty and all, I guess, and spray paint it black, but I seen that thing, I was like, I need a little tiny trash can in my office for little bits of plastic, like I just took off that box. Then I was like, man, this thing will make the perfect trash can. And it would have normally just went to the landfill, so now I'm using it. Go down. Randall says, Dave, I've done so many videos. I hate it when people ask me a question from years back. I'm trying to figure out what I said. I have to go rewatch the video sometimes. I'll get a comment on a video I uploaded 6-7 years ago, and they're and they're saying they're asking some kind of technical question about this video. I have to rewatch it because I don't remember what was in the video. When you get 500-600 videos in the queue, you start losing track. You start forgetting what was in them. Bass Angler says, I hang a Walmart bag He said he wrote bank. I'm pretty sure he meant bag. Off my stick shift for a trash bag. Yeah, I don't have. Dodges have a bag hook just for hanging a plastic Walmart sack on, and I use that to hang a trash bag on. If I'm going to be in the truck, like we go on road trips, I'll hang one there to put trash in. Gotta go. Oh, he's done left. Training a new controller later, guys. Well, I'm missing. I wish I'd seen that. There's Albert. I just now found your name in the chat. Good Lord, there's been a lot happening. Oh, if y'all haven't done it yet, hit the like button. We'll go ahead and throw that down. Put up the knife before I lose it again. I lost it for like 3 days, and it was right behind the keyboard. I moved the keyboard to wipe the desk off and to dust it, and found the knife underneath the keyboard. I had done one, got my old one out, and let's check something here. Oh, okay. Now, there we go. Got my chat back in place. All right. Next thing I want to do is talk about tomorrow a little bit. Tomorrow in the ham radio world is an event known as Field Day. Let me just switch over my display here. Come on. Get rid of that. Let's see if this brings up what I want. Now, Field Day. Yeah, here we go. Let me turn this back on. Field Day is a big annual event, and it's like for all of the ARRL is the American Radio Relay League. It's kind of like the I don't know, the NRA of the ham radio world. They're a lobbyist kind of thing, you know, and it's a big organization. Everybody joins it usually. I'm not currently a member, but I have been in the past. But they host an event called Field Day every June. So every fourth full weekend in June or something like that. Used to be the fourth Saturday, but now I think they've changed the vernacular slightly. Point is, it's a 24-hour event. So it starts on Saturday afternoon and goes till Sunday afternoon. And you try to make as many contacts as you can on certain ham bands. They've got them. It's all in the rules. And then you can use like many different modes to make these contacts, and you can use satellites. Like you can make contact with the International Space Station, and it counts. Like you get bonus points for that. And so we all have been gathering up our crap for Field Day tomorrow. I've got it all in the room behind the camera here. I've got some radios. We have these things called bandpass filters so that you can have more than one radio at a site and they won't like cause problems with each other. And I only use them at Field Day, so I got all them out because if I don't remember it, I'll leave them here like I have before. But the Scouts came in time. We're going to play with them at Field Day. For us in our club, it's more of a casual kind of social event. We're not doggedly trying to like win or get the most contacts or whatever. Some clubs do, and they turn out in force to do this. But for us, it's more of a social gathering. We just kind of have fun. We'll make some contacts, but normally it's 100, maybe 200 for the whole weekend, and there's quite a few of us there. Oh, my nose is itching. And, you know, for a club that's going to be running 3 transmitters at once or something like that, 200 contacts shouldn't be a big deal. You should be able to do that in just a couple hours. But, yeah, it'll take us 2 days. Because we just like to have some fun. But I've been gathering up my stuff for it. I've got me a checklist, and then I got the Scouts. They came in the mail today, and I've been messing with them some. But, yeah, that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to it. My plan is to make a video of Field Day and do photography of Field Day while I'm there and kind of photo document our Field Day event. And with that, I will upload that to the channel so that it's a photography video, but it's about a ham radio event. And it's just something I like to do. But it gives me a photography opportunity. I can photo document the event. And it's something to photograph, you know. It's kind of interesting. But yeah. But that's tomorrow morning. And like I said, I've been gathering up my crap all day for that. I went and did a Parks on the Air activation earlier today. Thing about rabbit holes is you learn something. General conversation usually gains you nothing. Learn. Dave, are you going to be under a club call or are you going to be going by your call? We're going to be under the club call. If I'm right, we're going to use Kilo 4 Sierra Oscar Delta K4SOD. And that means state of day is the thing, but it's K4SOD is our club call, and we'll use it. I did hold a club call for 2 decades for another club, but I let it expire because there wasn't anybody left in the club but me and one other person. So since we couldn't technically have our meetings or whatever because we didn't have enough people for, what was it called, quorum, I just let the call expire. It wasn't like a vanity call or anything, so it wasn't really all that big a deal. But you know, clubs come and go. You can form a club pretty easily if you just got to get a bunch of people together and fill out the paperwork. It's not the end of that. But yeah, we'll be there. We'll go live. I think it starts at 2 is when it officially begins. Let's see. Field day starts at 1800 UTC Saturday and ending at 20:59 on Sunday. Okay, so that's 2100 hours. That's actually like 27 hours. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, 27-hour period. Okay. This may be a new rule. I didn't know if it went that long before or not. I've never finished a field day because it always happens on a weekend with church. So I go to church and I miss the Sunday portion. Sometimes I'm able to go over and help them break down antennas in the afternoon, but I'm never there at the end. I've never read the rules that closely. 1800 is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't because it's about 4 hours off in the summertime. So yeah, that would be 1400, which would be 2. So yeah. Trey's here. 2 p.m. He dropped it in the comments. Hey, and if y'all haven't done it yet, hit the like button. I'm gonna say it again because I see new names. 2 p.m. Yeah. I'm reading the ARRL rules. What about FT8? Okay. Here's story time with Dave. It seems like every year I do something and make a bunch of contacts and they never count. Because I do them on the wrong band or the wrong mode. Like last winter field day, they have an event called Winter Field Day, which is 6 months out. It happens in January. And, you know, these are like readiness drills is what they kind of are. It's like, can you set up a radio on short notice and make contacts with it, you know, and for a period of time through maybe an emergency. You know, that's kind of the idea behind it. And, well, Winter Field Day plays by different rules, I found out afterwards. I made a whole bunch of these FT8 contacts on this digital mode with my new little radio I had just gotten and wrote them all in the log. And then we looked at the rules later and it excluded the FT8 mode. You couldn't use it at Winter Field Day. Oh, great. I've made Morse code contacts on like the 17 meter band because for Parks on the Air, it's wide open. You can use it. and it didn't occur to me that it don't count for field day. I think you use 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160 meters. It's like the even numbers. There's like a 12, a 17, and a 30 meters, and those are off limits. And 60 meters, I think, is off limits. But which 60 meters is pretty much a non-issue. I ain't even gonna talk about 60. It's it's annoying to me. I've made a couple contacts on it, but yeah, I don't even dial it up on my radios anymore because it's a waste of time. All right. Trey says, but you are the master of CW. CW stands for continuous wave, which is Morse code. I'm the guy that comes over and makes the Morse code contacts now that Brian Page has left this world. Brian was a really good CW op too. I think Virgil knows CW. He's another guy who's been coming to our field day events. But I'm pretty sure Virgil knows Morse code. I haven't checked with him to confirm that. Do you know, Trey? Not real certain. But to segue that back into photography, while I'm getting my answer from Trey, I'm going to do a little project tomorrow. Tomorrow's also going to involve more of stuff I'm doing than just field day. Like in the morning, I'm going to go do some different things. And I'm going to use this tomorrow. Let's see. If I focus the camera, if I get the angle right to where the glare is minimized, and then we focus it in on it, like that. I turn it. If I get it turned just right, you can read it. If I do this. There you go. Ilford HP5 Plus black and white film. And I'm going to put it in this monster. My Leica R8. This was a pro camera in the late 90s. Okay. I've had this camera for about 2 years now, I think. And I have the 50 millimeter Summicron for it. It's an R lens. But this camera takes beautiful photos. And it's a lot of fun to do. It's very ergonomic. The Germans engineered this camera. The Minolta made all of the R cameras up to the R7. No, the R8. The R7 was the last Minolta design. They did a co-op deal. And the R series cameras, they started with the CL, and they all had this special, they were DSLRs or SLRs. They weren't digital. They were just SLRs, which is single lens reflex, which is like the regular film cameras of the 60s through the 90s and early 2000s. You know, it has a mirror and it moves up out of the way, like a DSLR, but it had film instead. Well, rusty he is. Okay, so Virgil knows it. He's just rusty. Okay. That's a good one. Well, Leica makes a camera called a rangefinder. Most people know that. That's in photography. Well, they wanted to tap into the SLR market, so they made a camera called the CL, and they made it in cooperation with Minolta. And that was the first R mount camera. Then they started making the R's, and they made the R2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and then they made a 6.2, I think. They changed. The only difference between the 6 and the 6.2 was the 6.2 had a faster maximum shutter speed. I think it had a 1/2000th of a second shutter speed, which was a big deal then. And it was a full-on mechanical camera. You could get the R5, which was an electronic version of the R6, which was a purely mechanical machine. The purists loved the mechanical cameras, so they continued to make them for them. Then they made the R7, which was an electronic camera. That might have been the R6 counterpart. I don't remember. The R5 or the R7 was the same thing as the R6, except for it was electronic. Then they made the R8. The R8 was Leica's decision to design their own SLR from the ground up. I want you to look at this thing. Look at the geometry of this camera. Oh, why didn't people are probably telling me, you're out of focus, you're out of focus. Let me look. Nope. Ray said, I think I need glasses. Oh, that was it. the subtle way of saying, focus the lens, you idiot. But see the angle of the geometry? Let me close the thing. You can see all this geometry on the body and how it's got this raised section here. This whole section in the corner, that's the battery compartment, but it's also the grip. And what the goal is to set the strap on your hand, flip the filament vance out till your thumb rests underneath it, and your thumb lays in this channel on the back of the camera natively. And then your fingers just latch onto that little rise, and your hand is there naturally. And then you have to focus, because this is manual focus and manual aperture. It does have a aperture priority mode so that you can actually let it pick the shutter speed, because it'll meter for you. But you focus manually. So they got this big bevel on the front so your hand can get into the lens, so it can actually reach it. And you can reach the aperture ring without having to crane your arm around. Your thumb just slides right in there, and it fits just so well. Everything about this camera is so well designed. It is heavy, but man, is it a nice machine. It takes beautiful photos. Let's see here. If I can get it to release a picture. Let's do 1/125th of a second. Listen to this. Oh, look at me. Did I run the battery down? It may be dead. The display ain't coming on. May have changed the battery for tomorrow. There's always the backup. The Minolta X700. I haven't shot with this camera in ages. I'm pretty sure it still works. I don't remember how to turn it on. There's a power switch on this thing somewhere. Is that it? Oh yeah, there it went. See, this one works. Yeah. I think that's the on-off switch. But I bet the battery's dead in this thing. I'm glad I got it out to show you guys, because then I figured out that it's dead. What's going on here? There we go. It looks like it's pretty dead. Oh well. Yeah, that's the metering function. Spot metering. It won't come on? Well, let's take the battery cover off and see. We can measure the voltage on the battery with a voltmeter. Man, this thing's, it's tight. There we go. I think it's got a watertight seal on it. Oh, it's 2 little batteries. Forgot about that. I probably have some. It takes a pair of these. I think these are CR2s. These are lithium. They should still be good. I can't read the voltage on them. We'll know in a second. All right. Yeah. So you never know what you're going to get into. Like I said, voltmeter. I like this Kyle Wheats voltmeter. It actually is a pretty nice little meter. Alright. Let's see what the voltage on this battery is. Should be, I think it's a 3-volt cell. 2.3. Sounds pretty low. And this one, 1.2. Yeah, the batteries are dead. That don't surprise me. Let's see here. All right. When you've been doing this crap as long as I have, you have batteries for all sorts of stuff. Let's see if I've got enough to make a setup here. I happen to have another set of batteries right there. Yeah. This has a, you can smell the lithium in this. But these are all camera cells. Double A's, some triple A's. Here's one of those weird big Duracell batteries. What is it? A 5.4 volt. I had a camera at one point that needed one. I've got a bunch of these little round ones. Looks like hearing aid batteries. CR2. Oh, I got a bunch of these. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I got a whole box full of them. Good. Let's see if these have got voltage on them. Doesn't say the voltage. This will. It don't. I'm guessing though, you know, that it's probably 3 volt. Alright. Back to the voltmeter. Let's check the ones in the box and see what they say. 3.2. We might actually get to hear the shutter fire tonight after all. 3.2. These are hot. Alright, good. I must have left the camera on. It doesn't, I don't think it goes to sleep. Alright. There we go. I'm going to leave that out. Take that with me. Okay. Where I put the cover. Let's see, they go this way. Okay. Yep, easy, easy. But see, it's the grip of the camera. Actually just pries off the corner. But it's super stiff, so it's got some seals on it that keeps it from leaking water. Oh, the shutter fired. Fortunately, there's no film in it. Okay, let's go to manual. Now you get to hear it. See? Yeah, it'll recoil back. But man, this thing's got a nice shutter. That's just glorious. And now I can use it tomorrow. Good thing I did the stream with you guys, because I would have left out and I'd have had dead batteries. That would have been frustrating. Thanks for saving me. Our lineup is fantastic and highly underappreciated. I jokingly call the R cameras the stepchild of Leica cameras. I bought this camera, this R8 Pro camera, for like $600. This is a beautiful piece of equipment. Takes stunningly good photos. The lens costed way more than the camera did. I love shooting on it. Ray says, why does it make so much noise? Ray's one of these young pups who has one of these cameras that doesn't have a shutter in it. That Nikon Z9. Actually, I think he has a pair of them now, from what somebody told me. I didn't realize you had got a second one until Phil told me the other day. Bass Angler says, I thought I was the only battery collector. All of them are supposed to have charge. Yeah. Well, it got to the point to where I had them scattered around. So I finally I bought these little dividers. Like I keep these are the CR 2032s and the CR 2025s. I just keep them because there's so much stuff now that you use that has them things in them. I even have like the 1/3 end. It's like the end cell. These are 1/3 of an end cell. But yeah, I've got all sorts of crap in here. I've got these batteries that, this one is actually a dead cell from way back when, but I saved it mainly because it's one of those mercury batteries, and it has the flange. You can actually get, like, there's some of the little, oh, what do you call it, batteries, the little watch cells that'll fit in that envelope, and you can stack them. They'll fit a little loose, but they'll work. And you can, so I hung on to that one. I've got some of these weird ones like these. Yeah. Just bizarre batteries. Camera batteries are strange. But yeah, I learned early on, get you one of these organizers and put it in there. That way you can find them, you know. I got tired of hunting that crap. I bought a bunch of them organizers not long ago. There's 4 of them in the bottom of the cabinet. I think one's empty currently, but 3 of them have lenses in them in that cabinet, or 2. 2 are full of lenses. One might have a few more in it. I was able to sort the lenses, and actually I can get them out and find a lens instead of stacking them up in the cabinet. Somebody needs to save him. Ray said it's Phil's fault. He got me looking at Murphy's used page, and they had one. I hate having to keep up with batteries, so 2 with the same type makes it easier. Not to mention 2 with the same type that lasts basically a whole day, so you basically don't have to change batteries. I bought things for stupider reasons that weren't as useful. But yeah, I'm going to use that tomorrow. I'm going to carry this all day. I'm going to try to shoot the whole roll in one day as a sort of a little mini documentary on film with this camera. I got a video coming out tomorrow that has a black and white image in it. And it's a pretty cool image because I caught something that you don't get to see every day in Chattanooga with that film. It was with that camera. I was doing a photo walk with that camera when I just happened upon a scene and caught it. It's something that happens regularly, but it's not common for you to get a photo of it. And if you watch the video, you'll find it. Most people are probably, now that's watching this stream, hit the like button. They'll scrub to the black and white portion, and then they'll see the picture. They'll lose the context, but at least they'll see the photo. Albert says, I love the sound of a camera shutter, especially the medium format cameras, such as the Coney Omega, which sounds like a rifle when you fire it. Oh, Lord. I know, man. Aaron's got 2 or 3 of them medium format, like waist level cameras and things, and the shutter in them things is it sounds like the whole camera's going to leap out of your hand from the shutter fire, and it just seems like it's so much happening. Yeah, it sounds like a 2x4 hitting a dadgum sheet metal wall inside of it. But yeah, that's what's going to happen tomorrow. I do have my regular, it's in there now, and the stuff I've queued up. I got my SL2 and the 50mm Summicron and my video rig with my off-camera audio so that I'm going to try to do a video about field day specifically. So I'll have 2 cameras at one point. Somebody will have to get a photo of me. And if anybody looked at my channel, I ain't gonna fight it tonight. My truck, the water pump on it apparently locked up going down the interstate. It immediately ejected the belt, which apparently broke the water pump, and it was bleeding antifreeze on the interstate. And there was nothing I could do about it except watch. So the truck's in the shop, and I'm currently driving one of my machine shop trucks, my Ford, and it's like going back in time, even though it's a newer truck. Because all of my stuff that I normally use, that I keep in my Dodge, I don't bother to move it all out because they'll have it fixed by Monday or Tuesday, and I'll have it back. But you know, in the interim, my truck is missing most of the widgets that I normally have access to. So I went and got my radio stuff so I could still do radio, and my camera gear. I don't leave it in the car. I bring it in the house every day, so it didn't matter. But you know, there's just a bunch of little stuff that you don't realize that you use that you keep in your car, and I realize it when I don't have it. But yeah, the truck's in the shop getting a water pump, and I'm having them fix a wheel bearing issue. It's not a wheel bearing, it's the little anti-lock brake sensor ring that's on the wheel bearing. That thing's bad, and it's been faulting out my anti-lock brakes for about a year and a half now. I finally told them, I was like, we need to fix that. So they're going to fix that. You know, I just got a bunch of little stuff sorted. Told them to inspect the universal joints on the front drivetrain because I feel like I'm picking up a vibration. You know, but yeah, it's time for the truck to see some maintenance. Ray says, I've embraced shooting from waist level with the Z9 using the LCD because it folds out on the Z9. Makes for fun straight tile photography. I enjoy a fold out viewfinder or display on the back of the camera for waist level shooting and low level shooting. Like you get down next to the ground. And my SL2, neither my SL2 or my CL have that functionality. And I didn't realize how much I used it when I sold the XT3 to fund the CL. It didn't really occur to me how often I folded that little display out, the screen on the back, until I didn't have that functionality. And then I realized how much I actually used it. Like right now on the Z50, that's what I'm filming with. It's folded out. I fold it out on the Z50 because then I can see to make the settings for the stream. And I leave it like I set it on 5500 Kelvin on the white balance, and then I set it for like I set the ISO to static because I'm using a static light so that the camera doesn't hunt. Of course, I set it to manual focus, you know, and I can reach all that from that back screen a lot easier if it's folded out. Bass Angler says vibration could be the steering pump. Yeah. I normally don't see that. Like those hydraulic pumps are pretty durable. Normally with 4-wheel drive, you have an axle U-joint failing, and it'll make it start vibrating because that axle U-joint's coming apart little at a time. That's what I've normally seen. And that's why you'll feel it in the wheels, because it'll vibrate the wheel, which in turn just transmits it back up through the steering linkage. But yeah, it could be. But it ain't been whining or nothing. So. Ron's here. I didn't catch that. Oh, you're the one that said that. Okay. I was looking for your stream. I was going to text you and say if you were streaming that you need to tell everybody to jump over on mine when yours ended, but you wasn't streaming tonight. You've been doing Friday nights pretty regular. You looked at that 20 millimeter f1.8. Yeah, I saw that. I played with that Viltrox 20. It's a nice lens. I got a review of it. Pretty sure. I think it already came out. Pretty certain it did. Let me just jump back over here. Go to content. That went live yet? Yeah, that went live. On June 8th. Okay. But yeah, I did the Viltrox f2.8. It wasn't the f1.8. My bad. I'm going to bring my chat back over. No stream tonight. Art show tomorrow. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm streaming. I got a field day event. And I got breakfast with the daughter. And coffee with the wife. And yeah, it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. Church tomorrow night. More field day after church. Going to be busy. I'm looking at a lens for the Z8. Oh, okay. Well, that 20 millimeter f1.8 S series is a nice lens. Yeah, it'll do all of that. Which 20 millimeter on a full frame camera for street photos, you're going to be like 6 inches away from the subject. Yeah, Ray has having an obsession with f1.2 primes now. Ray says, I love the look during the day. Oh, okay, he's talking about Randall. Randall says 1.2 is a nice lens for nighttime shooting. Ray says he likes to shoot in the daytime. He really uses fast shutters on the Z9. See, it's an electronic shutter all the time. So whether it's 1/60th of a second or 1/32,000th of a second, it's the same operation. So he can use those electronic shutters and it's not penalizing him. Albert says, the old timers told me how loud camera shutters attracted police, particularly when around leaders and other significant people. Unaware people are terrified when they hear a firearm shutter. Yeah. The Leica M8 does have a discrete menu. I'm a little lost on that one. Maybe there's a conversation in here I'm missing, because there's a lot been going on in chat. It's a very busy window. Sorry if I'm interrupting some other side conversation that I ain't aware of. Ray said, "Oh, you using any vintage lenses in the Z9?" Dude, Ray's all in on the Z lens system, the Z mount. He has all these hot rod Nikon Z lenses now. He's way up there in the ranks. Like, he's a Nikon Professional Services, and you know, you need to kiss the ring kind of thing, you know. Albert says, like many people, I used to consider a f1.2 lens as a gimmick prior to autofocus capability. Yeah, I've got a vintage Canon f1.2, and that lens is almost impossible to nail focus with. Well, it's like I have the 35095. Oh, excuse me. From TT Artisans. It's right behind the camera here. And I don't shoot it at 0.95 unless it's on a tripod. And I zoom in with electronic zoom and check focus, and it usually still misses. Unless I'm shooting like across the road at night, because it's real good for low light, because it's, you know, 2 or 3 stops faster than f1.8, you know. It's shockingly fast glass, but that's in the daytime it's pointless, because like you said, the depth of field is so shallow. Without autofocus, you're gonna miss it. You're just gonna miss it. If the subject's moving at all, you've missed focus. You know. I just sold my remaining Z6 II. Need another body to back up the Z8. Ron said, "Well, yeah, I think Ron's gonna be in a Z6 III for long." Ron is MPS member. Impressive. I think it's because he wanted the maintenance package, so that he's doing so much sports photography for the college that he doesn't want to be down without, you know, because, you know, they give you preferential treatment if you're an MPS member. Which they should. That's what you're paying for, you know. But yeah. And he sent his gear to him. He sent a good bit of gear back to him to have them sort out some issues here and there. Whew, excuse me. But I would have to eat my words in my previous live stream if I bought a Z6 III. You can make another video retracting your statements and then happily shoot the Z6 III. There is a way. Bray says, I got my Z9 back from a full cleaning and calibration. 7 days turnaround. See, that ain't bad. Normally, the 7 days would be to get it to them only, not including the maintenance work. Yeah, that's impressive. What else was I going to talk about tonight? I had some other stuff. The Z6 III was one of them. After seeing some of the videos about it, I have come to the conclusion that video or that camera was specifically targeted towards content creators. Not just specifically YouTube content creators like me, but towards people who do videography that want a small light camera. As you could use it as your A camera, your main camera, but I think it was designed to be used as a B camera to get specific shots or to get specialized B-roll, where you bolt it to the fender of the car and you drive through the woods and you may, or something like that. And you don't want a ridiculously wide field of view like the GoPro generates. Well, you could put a Z6 II on there and, a 24 millimeter lens or a 35, and get a different perspective. And that would be a waterproof package, and it would generate really, really good video. I'm pretty sure that's what the camera's designed for. That, and it's, and everybody started bragging about its low light performance, which it's 24 megapixels. It's going to have good low light performance. All of their 24 megapixel cameras have had very good low light performance. The Z6 I had back in the day took stunningly good photos in low light. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure one of the photos that's scrolling through that's on the wallpaper page, the one of the handrail that's on the Market Street Bridge, I'm pretty sure that was taken with my Z6. I have suddenly taken to yawning. Ron says, I am number 2 on the list at Murphy's. Yeah, that retraction video is coming out. Retraction / unboxing video. It could be a thing. Albert says, bingo, Dave, you're right. They were a gimmick since nobody could focus at f1.2 lens. Yeah. And people tried all sorts of tricks with them 1.2s, like the whole deal where they focus before the eye doing portraits, and they would fire, like rapid fire the camera and then just kind of roll it through the focus range and hope one of the middle photos was the right one, trying to get the focus. They try all them little tricks, or the whole leaning back and forth while you're shooting. If you're hand holding, you focus and then lean back till you're out, and then start firing the camera and lean slowly through it and let it take frames, and hopefully the ones in the middle, one of them will be on, or it'll be close enough that it looks like it's on. It was interesting to see how people solved that problem back in the day. Bass Angler's got you some solid advice. Just get a refurb Z8 and be done with it. Then you have identical cameras, identical menus. You can copy the menus from one, put it in the other, so it's basically 2 of the exact same thing. We all know how capable the Z8 is. Everybody I've seen that's using one has done nothing but stellar accomplishments with it. Rodney, I would like less megapixel body to go along with the Z8. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're looking for smaller files. They sell bigger terabytes now. Just get a 4 terabyte instead of a 1. It'll hold them. Got on the list in March when the rumors started. Wow. So you had to get on the list March, April, May, June. Man, all this yawning. 4 months before the camera was officially announced to be on the list at the second spot. Somebody still got on the list before you. It was probably Phil, wasn't it? That's impressive. Yeah, let's see. Talked about the R8. I wanted to go over that. Talk about the Z6 a little and what my opinions are of it based on the videos I saw. And it was, yeah, it looks like they're really leaning into the video side of the camera. Is what the kind of the goal of the Z6 III is to be a content creator machine. Not so much strict photography design or intention, but yeah, it looks like they're leaning more and more into the video. A 512 gigabyte card in the Z9 on high efficiency mode is 13,000 photos on one card. Wow. Ron says, I thought it was Phil, but doubt that. I have been watching a lot of stuff about AI lately. I'm just going to segue into that for a minute, give you my opinion on the whole AI thing. I really don't know, because, here lately they've been talking about AGI, artificial general intelligence, and that's basically when the AI becomes sentient, for lack of a better term. It's indistinguishable from talking to a human, and there's no tripping it up to like break it, like faulting the code. But yeah, I watched a video where they were talking about they're expecting AGI by 2027. And if it doesn't happen by 2027, then it won't happen by like decades. Like it's either going to happen really fast or it ain't going to happen at all. And the reason has to do with the cost. NVIDIA has been building these supercomputers for OpenAI and Google and Facebook and everybody else that's building these models, these large language models, and they have to get the compute power up to these levels that are just ludicrous levels of compute power, and the compute power quits getting measured in flops. It measures in like petaflops and all these. That's how many computations per second is. It's super huge numbers. Well, they shifted from measuring it in flops to measuring it in dollars. And it's like it's going to cost the next iteration to break through or whatever. They're expecting to be like a $100 billion computer to do this. And then the next one after that will be a $1 trillion computer. And it's like, if you don't hit AGI by the $1 trillion computer, then you're not going to, because you can't afford to build the next computer. It's just physically not buildable because of the cost. And plus you have to make breakthroughs in technology to also kind of go along with that cost. But yeah, it's not like an automatic progressionary thing. They have to like the way they're doing it, however that is. I really don't fully grasp all that. But how they're doing it now will only go so far. And they're trying to get it to the point to where the artificial intelligence computer can start doing its own research and development instead of them having to do it and then program the computer. They're trying to get the computer smart enough to where it can do its own research on itself, and then it becomes a regenerative feedback cycle of breakthroughs automatically. And yeah, they were talking about in 2027 to create a model like GPT-4, Chat GPT 4.0 or whatever it is, the one you have to pay for. It's supposed to be so good. It took them so many years to do it. They can actually generate that model in like 1 minute in 2027 from the compute power increase. Instead of literally 3 or 4 years from Chat GPT 3 to GPT 4, it's only 1 minute to create that same model. That's how much faster everything will work. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they don't know if they're going to be able to do it or not. They really don't know, because they don't know if the way they're doing it can be scaled to that magnitude. Like they're thinking they're going to have to completely change the way they do their training of the models or their code generation or whatever to make that work. But yeah, they're like, it either going to happen soon or it just ain't going to happen. And I thought that's pretty interesting. Hey, there's Roy Bixby. How you doing, Roy? Thank you for jumping in. And if somebody hasn't hit the like button yet that's in here now, do that, please. I'd appreciate that. Ron's got to go to bed later. Have a good night, Ron. Battery life and overheating is the most important features that I worry about, is what Randall says. I don't never worry about overheating because I'm not shooting a lot of video. Like right now, I'm not recording video with this. All I'm doing is I've got it plugged into the HDMI port, and then it's feeding a capture card in the computer, and then the computer's processing it. So the camera is in standby mode. So it's doing the sensor read in standby. So since it's not writing to the card, all of that processing that would normally be saving to the card, not having to do, so it don't get hot. And I'm running it on wall power. I have, we talked about that last week. So I don't have to worry about the battery dying. Plus, when I fold out the display away from the camera, that exposes the back of the camera to atmosphere and allows it to cool faster. It allows you to dump heat because you're not insulating it with that display in the way. And even when I don't do all that, and I've got this camera out and I'm using it somewhere to film, I normally don't film long enough to have overheating issues. I've never really run into that problem. Now, I haven't filmed with Sony cameras, and they're kind of notorious for it. But yeah, I haven't ever had trouble with my Z50 at all. But then again, I also do shoot in 1080p. I'm not shooting 4K. And when you're shooting 4K, the camera's doing a lot more work to handle those files. But technically, it's 4 times the work, because that's how much bigger a 4K image is over a 1080p image. So that's probably another factor, because I'm shooting a lower resolution. Because you shoot those high resolution images, that's when you start really warming the machine up, because you're doing a lot more data processing. Ron's counting the days. 6 months and 8 days till retirement. Wow. Short timer. Roy says, too many people confuse AI with machine learning. AI has been in cameras since the 1980s. I guess that's what you would classify as autofocus. Or metering. AI has become a marketing term, yeah. It has. Like, they're putting it on everything. Literally everything. I saw the Apple commercial the other day, and they're going to put it in the iPhones. It's just, it's not going to be Siri now that looks something up on the web for you. It's going to be this AI thing who's going to lie to you about something on the web instead. That's what GPT will do if it can't figure out the right answer. It'll just make something up. And then present it like it's the truth. Let's see here. Albert says, many influencers speak about 3D pop shooting at f1.2 wide open, but a 4-foot 11-inch player has a higher probability of slam dunk from the foul line than a shooter finding 3D pop shooting at f1.2. 4'11" player is gonna dunk it from the 3-point line. Oh. Ain't saying it's impossible, just saying it's unlikely. Oh. Ray says, I was using a Lexar card and would get hot card warnings, even inside shooting basketball. That's air conditioned, that's what he's saying. Switch to Angelberg cards and no longer get that warning. Huh. So it's like the card would get hot. That's interesting. My best guess is the metering system. Yeah. Bass Angler says Chat GPT leans left badly. Yeah, somebody did an analysis on that, and that they figured out that whoever trained Chat GPT was, as they say on the news, a leftist, because all of its answers were biased to that type of political thinking. They really were. It was really interesting to see that it actually would answer in a way that was very biased, and so they were like, so until they unbias it, it's never going to really work right, and so that was a problem they have to overcome as well. It was interesting to see that. Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos on how biased it is and how you could ask it specific questions and just change, like, very specific questions about a person, and you could go through the political spectrum of the different kind of political parties, not just the two red and blue in the U.S., but the other subordinate parties, or whatever you want to call them, the little fringe parties, whatever you want to call them. But and when you got to like one specific name, it would break down and it wouldn't give you an answer, or it would give you some kind of really biased answer. But the rest of them, it would give you the standard cookie cutter answer. It was really weird how it was weird. But yeah, I'm not going to get into all that. Not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're going to climb back out as far as we went in and go on to the next line on the chat. Albert says, Caitlin Clark probably can do it blindfolded. That's Randall. Oh, he's talking to Albert. My bad. I am a Caitlin fanboy. LOL. Oh, it's a photographer. Okay, I was like, who is Caitlin Clark? Y'all know. That's what matters. All right, catching up. Let me check something here. Oh, no. Let me pull this over here. There we go. Checking the timetable. I want to make sure. I can only stream till about 20 after, so I have to get in bed. As much as that, much as I railed on Ron earlier about it, I got to do it too, but I can stay up a little longer. But yeah, I'm really kind of looking forward to using this adapter, Randall. This thing's really nice. I will probably put a, what you call it? I'll probably get that 18 to 55 out, and I'll adapt it to my CL, my little crop sensor CL, since it's a crop sensor lens, and then I can play with it on the CL, and I'll do a review of that lens and this lens adapter ring, because that lens actually produces really good photos to be such a cheesy little cheap plastic lens. That will be like the biggest, is that dichotomy? Is that the right word? between a really nice camera body and a really, really cheesy, cheap lens, plastic mount and everything. That's probably what I'm going to do with this. I'll wait till next week to do that, though, because tomorrow's a pretty full day. I've already got the gear I'm going to use for tomorrow selected and sorted, and it's already in there, and the batteries are ready to go and everything. Playing in Atlanta tonight. You will love it. You will love it. Okay. Y'all are somewhere else. I'm lost. I do get the last comment, Randall. I understand that. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to use the 50 mil, and I got the 55 millimeter micro Nikkor in the camera bag, and I'm going to grab that 28 that's right behind the camera and stick it in the bag. It's an Asahi Optical 28 millimeter f3.5 that I really love what comes out of that lens. Bass Angler says the Nikon 18 to 55 is an awesome little lens, and it is. It is one of Nikon's best kept secrets. I'll just put it that way. Even the mighty Ken Rockwell gave it high marks. That just because everything about it was corner cutting, money saving features. Like they use plastic on the lens mount, and it's plastic bodied, and everything's plastic, and it's like as cheaply made as possible, and it still takes really good photos. Really good photos. Albert says, I will catch the highlights later tonight. Y'all are still talking about this Caitlin girl, aren't you? I'm going to have to Google search who Caitlin Clark is. Now you done got me curious. Let me see. What am I going to find? Caitlin Clark. Oh, she's a basketball player. Okay. All right. Now I know who you're talking about. But yeah, I'll just be honest with you. If you're watching this stream and you're this late into the stream and you're a new photographer getting into the game and you've got the 18 to 55 and you think it's cheap and it's not a good lens, shoot with it. Great lens. I'm planning on shooting with mine soon now that I have a way of mounting it. I do have a camera that's mounted to a D40X, but I use that camera to do product photography too in the machine shop. It takes, I think it's 10 megapixels or 12, somewhere in that neighborhood. I think it's 10. It takes good photos. If you got good light, it takes beautiful images. Like I said, I put the 200 millimeter micro Nikkor on it, manual focus with it. Took beautiful photos with that little cheap camera. Worked great. Randall is asking, wasn't there a DX lens from Tamron, which was a f1.8 zoom lens? I don't know if there's a DX. They got that 24 or 28 to 50 or 55 or whatever it is. See if that's enough information for it to pull it up. No. It keeps bringing up the 28 to 75. Oh, the Sigma's the one I'm thinking of. Let's see if that brings up anything. 18 to 35, 28 to 70. 28 to 45, that's the one I was thinking of. Sigma 28 to 45. So I don't know. I haven't seen it. Since I've went down this dirt road of vintage manual glass, I haven't learned a lot about most of the new lenses that are out. So it's like there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to keep up with. But yeah, All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna hang it up for the night. I've been through all the subjects. We've went down a bunch of rabbit holes. We've even almost wandered into politics. That was pretty dangerous. That rabbit hole had landmines in it. But yeah, I appreciate y'all stepping onto the Zoom with me once again on short notice and hanging out for a while. It's been a lot of fun. Good night, Randall. Thank you for stopping in. And thank you for the adapter. Like I said, I really appreciate it, dude. And if you haven't done it yet, go over and give Randall's channel a like. Let's get him over 1,000. Let's hook him up. And hey, Randall, if you're still here, I want to plug Tim Childers is doing a program where if you have a channel with less than 1,000 subscribers, you can apply to him, and he's doing grants. And I think they're $500 grants towards equipment to help you get your channel off the ground. And it's his new Retired Me channel. It's generating some money through some kind of it's not AdSense, it's sponsorships or something. And he's generated that money, and he's going to take that money and basically give it back to the community through these grants. So if you go over to his channel, you can dig around on the new Retired Me channel on the videos and find the one that talks about it. And he's got all the rules. He tells the rules in that. And you can look it up pretty easy there. So you probably don't need any equipment from what I've seen. But maybe there is something you do need. You know, I don't know what that would be, but like I said, you know, it's an option. But yeah, you're welcome. I mean, it doesn't hurt to look. You know, maybe he's got some advice. I don't know. There's always something that everybody can get some help from somewhere. But yeah. But until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to tell you that this is David, the Georgia photographer, and I thank you for watching tonight. And I'm going to tell you to get your camera out, no matter what kind it is, and go take some pictures with it, all right? We'll see y'all later. And thank y'all for coming on the stream tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm going to switch out the lens, the picture, and we'll see y'all soon. Oh, by the way, got a video dropping in the morning if y'all want to watch a video while you drink coffee. So there's always that. Good night, y'all.